Try this again. Hi, this is Sabo at Beachside Bodywork, my yoga, Pilates, and pain management studio here in Indian Land, Florida. I'm going to do a short sequence today. Hopefully we'll do 2 sequences, but starting with a sequence laying on the floor to help find your lats, the muscles running from the underneath the shoulder, down the back, and sort of on the side of the body. So you can see the lat muscle kind of wrap around and come forward here. I'm going to work on finding that. Your serratus, the finger-like muscles coming around the rib cage, and some of the other intricate muscles in the core. We're also going to attempt to find the groin muscle running up the inner thigh. Psoas, I'll refer to that. Deep muscle in the front of the hip helps either pull the torso to the leg or the leg to the torso. Some of the hip flexors, I'm going to try to be opening up that region. And also, we're going to be making some movements, a couple. The first will be, I'm going to ask you at one point to feel your groin muscle, your low belly, right up in here, and your lat all at the same time on one side to help you move the hips back and forth, isolating one side versus the other. Okay, so that's going to be groin, low belly, lat, and on the side where those 3 are shortening, the other side should be able to lengthen, and vice versa. The other thing we're going to do is work on trying to find lats, serratus, moving the shoulder blades back and forth in this shoulder girdle. Okay, and I'll show you what it looks like for your shoulders to be off the back. Okay, shoulder plates, you can see sort of here. As the arms come together, the shoulder blades are on the back. As the arms reach forward, shoulder blades spread out off the back. Okay, so we're going to be working back and forth, moving the arms forward and back. This can be accomplished either with the traps, the muscles running from the base of the skull down the back of the shoulder, where your shoulders will be up to your ears while you make this forward and back motion. Right? Or it can be accomplished keeping the lats engaged, the muscles down here, and the serratus and the other muscles that wrap around, which is what we prefer. We want your shoulders down away from the ears, then moving the shoulder blades back and forth. Then you'll start to feel the core. If you do this with the shoulders up high, you're not going to activate the muscles in the core that we're trying to wake up. Okay, so we're going to lay down, get started now. I'm going to have you do what we call wide diamond in your legs. It'll be easier if you have a bolster to put the legs on top of to do this. It doesn't have to be a bolster. You could use anything that's going to elevate your feet off the floor a little bit. Possibly going to use some blocks in this sequence, but again, you can find something at home that may help you. And I'm not sure that we're going to use the blocks in this sequence, but we're definitely going to use the bolster at some point. So have some pillows nearby, or something to heighten the legs, and that'll help you stay out of your low back a little bit. Okay, so to start out, I'm just going to have you lay down on your mat. Have your bolster nearby, blocks nearby, in case we're going to use them. Okay. And we're actually going to start with the feet flat, knees tented, straight up and down. And we have mirrors on the ceiling in the studio here, so we have another camera angle. It's very helpful to see your alignment. But you're basically going to line up so that your feet are hip width apart and directly under the sitting bones, the 2 bones in the base of the buttocks. Knees are hip width as well. And you're going to bring the arms straight up to the ceiling over the shoulder joint. We're going to start with some deep breaths, trying to make space in the back of the rib cage and the back of the body. Just inhale, filling up the sides of the ribs, the back of the ribs. Let your rib cage expand. Start to feel some of the musculature in your core get spacious and warm up. Here we go. Hold that air in. Reach the lats off the back a little bit. Reach the shoulder blades off the back. And exhale for as long as you can. Start to feel the ribs close together, coming into each other. Middle abs drawing in, low belly drawing in. Stay empty, retain empty. And inhale, let the ribs fill up. Keep inhaling, keep inhaling. When you're totally full, notice if you're pushing the head hard into the floor, let that go. Exhale. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. So you feel the ribs start to draw into each other. You can feel the rib cage. You can see it in the mirrors here. 2 more like that. Inhale, really fill the lungs. Exhale, long and even. Keep drawing the ribs into the body. Good, and you're going to add some movement through the shoulder girdle on the breath now. Inhale, draw your shoulders down the body and down into the mat to make a little upper back bend and pop the ribs up. Inhale. Exhale, go the other way. Lats wrap around, ribs in the body. Inhale, shoulders come down to the mat, popping the ribs up. Chin down, neck long. Exhale. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling till you feel the ribs draw in. Keep moving like that. Inhale, ribs popping up. Let your ribs open. Try to feel your lats come diagonally, the shoulder tips coming together behind the rib cage. Think of plow, where you walk the shoulders together and bring the lats underneath the ribs to hold them in that upper back bend. One more breath, stay up here. Exhale, drop the ribs in. Lats wrapping around, shoulders come off the mat. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, lats wrap around. Draw it back in. Good, let's bring your right leg out in front of you. Outer spiral the leg. Used to inner spiraling in yoga, but let's outer spiral the leg so the groin muscle faces the ceiling. Drop the right arm back behind you. As you do that, keep the shoulder out of the ear, the lat muscle that's serratus, some of the muscles down the side of the body engaged. Drop the arm back slowly. Keep a wrapped around feeling in that shoulder. And you're going to let gravity softly draw the arm back. If you keep the muscles underneath the arm engaged, so the shoulder's out of the ear and you've got a long neckline here, these muscles are working against gravity to keep the arm up. Soft bend in the elbow. Really try to get that arm to wrap around. The other arm stays straight up. Inhale, let your ribs pop up. Feel both shoulder blades come under the ribs. Both shoulders drawing out of the ears. Exhale, lats feel like they're wrapping around into the front of the body. Ribs drawing in. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, long and even lats wrapping. Ribs closing into the mat. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back down. Good, holding that. Try to outer spiral that leg and let yourself have a lot of length through the front of the hip. Inhale, pop the ribs up again. Reach a little further back with the arm. Try to feel your low belly spread across here, making a lot of length in the front of that hip. Bring the leg a little further across your midline. Bring the arm a little further over to try to create a stretch in the front of the hip. Inhale again, let the ribs pop up, shoulders still away from the ears. And exhale, ribs drop back down into the mat. Two more, inhale. Feel the stretch through the hip flexor, through the psoas. Exhale, lats wrapping around both sides. And bring it back to the middle. Slowly drag the arm up. Try to feel the muscles underneath. You can even reach over with your hand and try to feel those muscles dragging the arm up and the low belly engaging to drag the arm up. Keep the shoulder, head, all the muscles in the top of the arm really soft. Good, and second side. Bring that left leg out in front. Okay, you can reach a little through the inner arch of the foot. You feel like the foot's hooking into the floor, the heel hooking into the floor, reaching through the index knuckle. Drop that left arm back. Again, keep the shoulder blade anchoring the shoulder down the body, away from the ear, and scooping around the rib cage. So there's a little outer spiral on the arm as you drop that arm back. It's really useful when you start to try to do shoulder stands, forearm stands and handstands and that type of practice. Okay, let the gravity just hold, or let gravity just work on the arm. The lat, the serratus starting to warm up here just because of holding the arm up. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, lats wrapping. Keep the breath going like that. Inhale, both lats draw, shoulder tips together behind ribs. You see the rib points pop up in the mirror. Exhale, both elbows wrap around. Trying to draw back around into the front of the body. Inhale, ribs pop up. Outer spiral that left leg. Try to feel some length in the front of the hip, the psoas, the hip flexors. Exhale. As I'm explaining, please keep moving back and forth through this. Inhale, ribs pop up. Exhale, feel lats wrap around. Hold there. A little deeper outer spiral, maybe even a soft bend in that knee will help you feel a stretch in the front of the hip. One more, inhale. And exhale, lats wrap around. Hopefully you can start to feel the muscles under the arm. Drag the arm back up, try to feel low belly, lats, serratus. Good. Tent both knees now. Drop both arms back behind you, both lats working to anchor shoulders away from the ears. Low belly drawing in. You're going to keep the lats anchoring. Keep the shoulder blades pulling together, lats pulling together in a V under the ribs to pop the ribs up. But at the same time, chin down, neck long, and low belly in. Feet can push a little bit forward to help roll your low back down closer to the mat, minimizing that natural curve in your low back. So you truly have an upper back bend with the low back more hollowed out. Inhale here. Exhale, change the shape. Lats wrap around, elbows scoop around, ribs into the body. Do it again. Inhale, lats under ribs. Ribs pop up, chin down, neck long, low belly in. Exhale. Ribs back into the body. 3 more like that. Inhale. Exhale, lats wrapping. Ribs close. Inhale. Exhale, lats wrap around. Good. And drag the arms back up slowly. Try to feel the lats engage. Good. From here, we're going to do the same thing. Arms to the ceiling. Just still trying to find the muscles in the side of the body. Inhale, shoulder blades come under the ribs. Ribs pop up. Exhale, start closing ribs together. Ribs draw together. Low belly in as well. Inhale, shoulders down, ribs up. Exhale, low belly drawing in. Lats and serratus wrapping around. You should be starting to feel some new core muscles here. Good. From here, we're going to take a block in the hands and actually bring the hands all the way so that it's the base of the hand that's on the block. You're not here with the block. It's all the way up toward where the wrist is. Bring the block straight up above the chest. Keep that outer spiral feeling in the arms and bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Keeping the elbows bent at 90 degrees, feel like the elbows are hugging into each other and up to the ceiling. You can actually even add a block between the elbows by setting your first block on the chest, hold on with the elbows, and then have another block available for your hands. This will really help you find the lat muscles. Okay, so keeping both of your blocks, you can now start to feel the elbows reach up to the ceiling as the shoulders come out of the ears. You can even see the lats engage in the side of the body. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Lats come underneath. Exhale, lats wrap around, elbows reach around and softly squeeze onto the block. Chin down so your neck stays long, ribs in the body. Inhale, ribs pop up. Exhale, wrap it around. Good. Now, keep the lats wrapped around, keep them engaged, and just feel like you're sliding your blocks on a tabletop straight back. Keeping the blocks here, let the ribs pop up, but keep your lats engaged, scooping the elbows up. Inhale. Now let's straighten out the right leg. Try to create as much space as you can just on the right side of the body. Inhale. Exhale, lats wrap around. Ribs draw back down into the mat. Inhale, ribs pop up. Exhale, chin down, neck long. Ribs draw in, lats wrap around. Bring the right knee up. Left leg out in front of you, outer spiral that leg. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Lats come down the body and down to the mat. Exhale, elbows wrapping around. Reach up for the ceiling as the ribs come back into the mat. Outer spiral that left leg, reach through the inner arch. 2 more. Exhale, bring the ribs back in. Last one. Should feel the lats warming up, some of the muscles underneath the shoulders. Good. And let's go ahead and bring both legs out in front. Drag the blocks back forward as if you're dragging them on a tabletop. Once you're back to your starting position, draw the low belly in, release your low back, and let's take wide diamond in the legs. Here, you may want to use your bolster. Once your feet come together in this position, you'll start to feel a hip stretch right away. You can lose your blocks at this point if it's becoming too much in the arms. Let's actually all lose the blocks and just start to investigate the wide diamond for a minute. Bring your bolster onto the floor. And feet together. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Helps to have some of the shins supported by your bolster or whatever support you're using, pillows or whatever if you're doing this at home. It's just keeping the feet elevated a little above the hips minimizes the stretch and also takes some of the tension out of the low back. My low back is not crushed into the mat right now. That's the equivalent of a tuck, shortening all these muscles in the front of the body that we want to lengthen. Okay, I want your pinky toes to hang off the front of the bolster a little, so toes are down, heels are up. And we're going to do a little bit of that same sequence. Bring the shoulders down to the mat and down the body. As you inhale, let the rib cage pop up so you see rib points flare. You should feel a lot of space in the lower body. As you exhale, ribs drop in. Lats wrap around. 2 more. Inhale, ribs pop up. Start trying to feel new muscles through the core. Exhale. Really try to wrap lats around. Feel like you still have those elbows hugging in around your block here. Inhale, ribs up. Exhale, lats wrapping. Ribs in. Feel low belly draw. Now feel like your feet are pulling back towards you on your bolster a little bit to help roll pubic bone, tailbone forward. You'll have a soft arch in your low back. None of this sequence should hurt the low back. So if you're pulling with your low back, trying to arch with the low back, you're pulling too hard. It should be low belly spreading across, pubic bone forward. Keep that soft anchor there as you move through now. Inhale, ribs up. Exhale, feel feet pull to you, low belly draw in. Use that scooped out feeling as you pull your ribs back in. Feel lats and serratus starting to wrap around into the front of the body. Shoulders well out of the ears. Inhale, pop the ribs up. Lats are engaged down the body and under the ribs. My back is off the mat here. Exhale. Ribs back into the mat. Good. Let's drop the right arm back behind you. Keep that lat wrapping around and scooping. And let's have that side wrap and scoop a little more than the other. Inhale here. Exhale, feel both lats wrap around. Bring the ribs into the mat. Arc the body over just a little bit to the left. Drop that right knee further open. Try to feel a little stretch in the front of the hip. And bring it back to the center. Drag it up. Second side, left arm back. Inhale, ribs popping up. Exhale, lats wrap around. Ribs in the body. Good, and drag it over. Try to shift the floating ribs a little to the left. Feel your low belly softly draw out of the frontal right hip point into the left floating ribs. And drag it back to the center. Drag the arm back up. Good. Open the toes for a minute. See if you can hook the pinky toe into the mat. Roll the heels up and forward. Okay, so my heels are actually softly in the air off the mat. Soft pressure in the feet will help push the tailbone a little bit long. Draw your low back a little bit down toward the mat. Notice how that helps you drop the ribs into the mat a little bit deeper. Stay with that shape in the spine. Inhale. Exhale, feel the lats wrapping. Keep exhaling until you start to feel your ribs, your diaphragm drawing together here. Inhale again, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, ribs draw back in. Good. Lower the heels back down to the mat, bring the feet together, and bring the legs all the way up. You can use your hands to help bring the legs up. Let's put the feet hip width apart on your bolster now. You can also do this with the feet flat on the floor. Keep the shoulder blades off the back, low belly draws in, soft pressure forward in the feet to roll the low back flush with your mat. The groin muscles are now going to engage a little bit, drawing in, and feel your heels hug a little in on your bolster. Roll up, low belly, groin, little bit of heels hugging in, and bring the hips up into the air like bridge off the mat. From here, try to draw your shoulders down into the mat, almost as if you were, and you can actually interlace the fingers if you'd like, and try to lift the ribs up that way. But just as if you're in your bridge, try to bring the shoulders down, lats coming diagonally together under the ribs to pick them up. Then, instead of trying to put your hips on the ceiling, let the hips drop back down a little bit. So you've got an upper back bend, lats coming together under the ribs with low belly hollowed out. Hold this position. You should not feel it in your low back. Heels hug in, groin muscles hug a little bit into each other. Inhale. As you exhale, drop the ribs back into the body. Totally different shape. Lats wrapping around, and now you're hollowed out in the core much more. Take that back and forth again. Inhale, ribs up, lats down, chin down, neck long. Exhale, lats wrap around, ribs in the body. Good. Hold here. Now here's what we're going to play with the hip staggering. I want you to try to feel the groin muscle of the right leg, the low belly, and the right lat all at once. To do that, you're going to try to hug that right heel into the midline, right knee a little in, and try to pull your own groin muscle into the hip socket. dragging that hip in. It may drop a little to the mat, which is fine. Feel low belly, and then feel the lat by really dragging the right shoulder out of the ear. That side will get a little bit short, but you're just trying to stay there until you can feel those points, maybe connecting the dots through the obliques in between. At the same time, once you can feel a little bit of groin, low belly, not quad and hip flexor, soften that. Release your glute, okay? Once you can feel that line, try to lengthen the opposite side, that left groin muscle coming out of the lat, wrapping around. And then let's just switch. Just try to find the muscles right now. Feel that left heel hug into your midline, little bit of the groin muscle. Try to draw the low belly across, feel a little bit of the low belly drawing in to hug that hip in higher, and feel your left lat scooping the shoulder down the body and the lat coming around the body up to the ceiling. Once you can feel those three, right heel hugs in, try to lengthen that right side even further. And then switch. Go at your own pace, just try to find those three on each side. Groin, low belly, lat on the right side, then switch. Groin, low belly, lat on the left side, right side lengthening, then switch. Feel groin, low belly, lat on the right side, left side lengthening, and switch. And just move back and forth, then hold in the middle. Whenever you need a break, you can roll down. Let's bring shoulder blades under ribs. Inhale, ribs up. Exhale, completely opposite shape, ribs in the body. Low belly in, hollowing out. And then one more like that. Inhale. Feel shoulders come down into the mat. Chin in, neck should be off the floor. Exhale, ribs in the body. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Release your glutes. No squeezing the glutes. Feel low belly hollow. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, lats wrap around, shoulders off the mat, ribs in the body, low belly in. Slowly roll it down. Feel your low belly scoop the back of the pelvis forward and up. Then roll all the way down. Feel your feet drag a little back to you to bring your tailbone long, pubic bone long. Natural curve in the low back returning. Okay, one more time. Low belly in, feet push away. Low back may touch the floor. Low belly draws in. Lats wrap around to bring ribs into the body. Roll it up. Inhale here. Lifting ribs with lats. Low belly in, release glutes, scoop it out. Exhale. Roll all the way back down. Good. Take the feet back to your wide diamond position. Groin should be a little more awake right now, a little more warmed up, a little energy there. Okay, and let's do the same thing you did earlier. Inhale, lats down, ribs up. Exhale, lats wrap around. Ribs in the body. Two more. And exhale. Should start to feel some new core muscles pretty soon here. Inhale. Totally soften your low body here. If anything, knees are trying to open, but your low back's not working. Exhale. Good. Now let's drop the arms back, keeping the ribs softly drawn into the body without gripping the hips and trying to tuck. Keep the lats wrapping around. Neckline should stay long. Start to feel the lats warming up here. Feel the serratus, possibly some more core muscles. Inhale, now go ahead and let the ribs pop up. Release the hips before you let the ribs pop up. Inhale. Exhale, draw it back in. Just feel the ribs close. No major tucks. Just feel the upper abdominals draw in. Low belly spreading. Inhale again. Shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, core should be getting pretty warm. Good. Drag the arms back up from underneath. And let's interlace the fingers behind the neck. The pinky and ring finger side of the hand, just the bottom two fingers, are going to cradle the base of the skull. Thumbs extend down the neck into the trap. So if you crunch the neck or pull your shoulders to your ears, your thumbs are going to poke you right there in the neck. Keep the elbows wide. We're going to do the same thing here. As the elbows wide, and shoulder blades will come together on the back, and that'll help you lift the ribs up. At the same time, draw shoulders down the body toward the tailbone. You can feel what it feels like to have the lats come together behind the ribs to really pop the ribs up. At the same time, low belly drawing in, hollowing out the low belly, helping to support and release the low back. Inhale. So an upper back bend with the low back, nice and soft. Exhale. Now bring elbows around. You can see the lat muscle wrap around as the ribs draw in. And again, inhale. Elbows open to help ribs pop up. Exhale. Elbows wrapping around. soft pressure in the feet to help draw tailbone a little long, low belly in. Inhale, ribs pop up. Exhale, lats wrap around. Good. Keep the elbows in your peripheral vision, ribs in the body a little bit, and just drag the chin into the chest. Scoop elbows up and forward so that your lat muscles feel like they're wrapping around. Serratus obliques start engaging and coming into the core muscles. Keeping that feeling, try to keep that wrapping until your shoulder plates are actually off the mat. But no tucking, no using the core. If you see the knees pop up and the gym abs pop up, you're not using the core muscles the way we're trying to here. We're trying to feel a spreading across and a wrapping around, connecting lats, serratus obliques with some of these muscles in the middle here. At the same time, feel pinky toes down, heels a little up. Tailbone is long, not pulling with the low back, using low belly, spreading and drawing long. Just be here. Keep finding lats wrapping around. Chin is in, hands are actually dragging the back of the head a little up to the ceiling, crown of the head up to the ceiling to give you a neck stretch. Inhale, long and even. Try to feel the rib cage tilt down into the mat to make space in the back of the body. It's a Pilates concept, fairly foreign to yoga a lot of the time. Exhale, long and even. Lats wrapping around, ribs in the body. 2 more. Keep the knees softly opening, pinky toes down. You can even take what I call footwork feet. Pinkies coming under, heels up and forward. Low belly spreading across. 1 more. And if your feet are up, bring them down. Slowly roll your upper body down. Good, now we're going to keep right elbow wide, left elbow forward. I want you to scoop the left lat around, bring the upper body a little bit up. Feel like you're rolling over that right shoulder. Just trying to feel the obliques on the right side, the serratus, and just try to roll it up. At the same time, try to feel that left lat muscle is wrapping around without tucking. So the knees stay open, the low belly spreads across to support the low back. Inhale. Now start drawing the right elbow back as you exhale. See if you can lift that elbow up, take it further back on the mat, and then lay back a little, but keep the obliques engaged. And bring it back to the middle. Rest in between. Elbows open, inhale, shoulders down the body, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, draw them all the way back in. Elbows and lats wrapping around. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, draw it in. Good. Second side. Roll that left shoulder blade up, left lat scooping up and forward. You can even move the floating ribs a little bit to the right. Drop the left elbow back towards your mat, getting length on that left side. Left knee opening and a little forward. Inhale here. Exhale, try to feel the left obliques lengthening. Try to feel low belly drawing up. 1 more breath. And come back to the center. Rest all the way flat. Elbows open, ribs up, shoulders out of the ears. And exhale, elbows wrap around. Good. Now let your ribs pop up and stay popped up. Let your elbows wrap around until your forearms squeeze the temples a little bit. Don't use the ribs drawing in and do a core work here. Just for a minute, keep the core soft. Just drag the head up, stretching the neck. So you're going to slide the hands a little up the back of the head. Keep the elbows squeezing around the temples like they're putting the head in a little bit of a vice. And just let the neck stretch. Head heavy into the hands. Neck back, sternum back and heavy. If it's too much for you at any point to do wide diamond for this sequence, you can always keep the legs even over your bolster to support the low back with something under the knees. Or you can have knees tented. Just make sure you're not tucking the whole time. Stay in this neck stretch just for 1 more breath. Inhale, let your ribs pop up. Exhale, now drop them into the mat, elbows scooping up. And now drag the chin in a little further. Try to feel the spine right between the shoulder blades start to open up. Chin in, the crown of the head long. Hands feel like they're sliding up the back of the head. And then roll back down into the mat. Open the elbows, inhale. And exhale, ribs in. Good. All right, from here, you can either help your legs come up with the arms or you can just roll the legs up. Let's pull one knee all the way into the chest, right knee in, interlace the fingers, left leg out in front of you. You can keep your bolster in place. Just make sure the knee can bend over the bolster, elbows wide. Inhale. Exhale, long and even. I want you to start to feel that left groin muscle drawn to low belly, left lat, shortening that left leg a little bit. And notice how that helps you hug the right hip long. Keep the right pinky toes to the right. Bring the chin to the chest, elbows open wide. Feel your lats wrap around. Lift that left leg barely off your bolster, or keep it on the bolster if that's easier for you. And try to feel the groin muscle now drawing long. Right hip may feel like it wants to shorten. Then switch. Hug the right hip long. Feel your left groin muscle draw into low belly and lat. Then switch. Notice that interplay between the hips. As one side lengthens, the other shortens. Then switch. And bring it all the way back down to the mat. Keep hugging the right knee in. Second side, left knee in. Right leg out in front. Soft bend in the knee, elbows wide. Keep that left hip hugging long at first. Notice how it helps to use a little bit of groin muscle, low belly, and right lat to help you get leverage to hug the left hip longer. Keeping the elbows wide to help spread shoulder blades off the back, shoulders down the body, chin rolling up. Inhale here. As you exhale, feel right groin, low belly, and lat. Shorten that right side or engage the right side to hug the left hip a little long, low belly spreading across. You can lift the right leg here if you'd like. Try to use groin muscle instead of quad and hip flexor to hold that leg up. That'll tighten up low back in the front of the hip. Inhale, one more. Exhale. Wrap. Outer spiral the right leg and reach through the groin. And bring the head all the way back down. Good. Let's put both feet flat, arms up, chin in, neck long. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, lats wrap around. Ribs in the body. And low belly in. Heels softly pressing forward on the bolster to roll the tailbone a little forward and up. Feel heels hug in and lift the hips all the way off the mat. Shoulder blades down, ribs up. Inhale. Exhale, go the other way. Now right groin muscle shortening, left long, and switch. Feel left groin, low belly, lat. Maybe you can connect the dots through the abs in between. And switch. Right groin, low belly, lat. Lengthen. And switch. Left side, groin, low belly, lat. Try to feel those three as the right side gets longer. And switch. Right groin, low belly, lat. Left side getting longer. Come back to the middle. Let's drop the arms back while you're up here. Keep the lats wrapping around the body. Shoulders out of the ears. Let your ribs pop up. And exhale. Feel like elbows are wrapping around. Ribs dropping in. And articulate all the way back down. Tailbone, pubic bone rolling forward, feet dragging a little backward on your bolster to restore the natural curve in the low back. Start to notice how that pubic bone rolling long helps the ribs roll into the mat if the back of the shoulder is willing to release instead of staying locked with the rib cage. Let's try that again. Inhale, ribs up, shoulders down. Low belly, hollow, feet softly pushing. And then exhale, feet drop back towards your face. Low belly, hollows out, spreading across, dragging forward. Ribs roll in. Do it again. Inhale, shoulders out of the ears, ribs pop up, low belly, hollow. Exhale, feet drag back to you. Low belly helps drag and roll the ribs back long. Lats wrapping around. Two more. Inhale, ribs up. Exhale, feet drag back to you. Low belly helps drag pubic bone long, ribs in the body. Last one. Exhale. Hold. Very nice. Let's remove your bolster if you were using one and see if you can come straight to a full wide diamond now with the lats wrapping. Let the ribs pop up. Inhale. Should feel a lot more stretch in the low belly now. The front of the hips, the psoas, the hip flexors. Exhale, lats wrapping around. You can even soft bend in the elbows and let them hug into each other. Don't let the hands collapse in though. That'll be the traps pulling. Inhale, ribs up. Exhale, lats wrapping around. Ribs in the body. One more. Exhale. Good. Interlace the fingers behind the neck. Thumbs extending down the sides of the body. Pinky and ring finger side of the hand cradling the back of the skull. Inhale, elbows wide, ribs up. Exhale, lats wrapping ribs in. Low belly in and roll up. Chin into the chest. Neck, sternum, head all heavy into the hands. Try to feel now, the shoulder points are in the mat. Now try to bring them off the mat. Elbows scooping up to the ceiling and almost even a little back behind you for the lats to wrap around. Knees stay open, low belly spreading across. And now just rock the whole upper body over to the right. Right side, right lat, right obliques, right groin, right low belly, all drawing into each other. Open the left knee away. You're still facing the ceiling. Come back to the center, left side, left obliques, left groin, even trying to draw that knee, leg into the hip joint. Right knee opening away. And back to the center. Come up a little higher, find lats connecting with new obliques, new serratus. Inhale. And drop all the way back down to the mat. Good, let's bring the arms out from under the head, drag it back up. Close the knees, you can open toes, bring the knees back in. Good, let's bring one knee into the chest at a time. Hug in for a minute, let your low back come off the ground, releasing the low back. Try to line up index, knuckle, and heels. And let's open the knees, bring the arms on the inside, hands over to the feet to the outer arch of the foot. Happy baby. Try to turn the feet out so your heels are a little in and the index knuckle of the foot is aimed a little out. Really hold the outer arch of the feet. Let your shoulder blades come off the back now and try to inhale with the ribs a little bit drawn into the mat. Really fill up the sides of the body, the sides of the rib cage. Then exhale, let your shoulders release. Ribs draw in, let all the tension in the core go. So very soft, happy baby here. I'm going to play with a couple variations. I want you to find lats drawing the shoulders down the body, under the ribs, and that diagonal we were working on, shoulder tips coming together under the ribs to lift the ribs up. That'll actually cause you to pull down on the feet, stretching the groin, the lower body a little bit. At the same time, try to drop the tailbone, pubic bone long away from that, flattening the low back out. So you've got that upper back bend with the low back long. Inhale with this very active happy baby. Exhale, go the other way. Let the lats wrap around. Ribs drop into the mat. Hips get a little more room. Feet can push into the hands to actually help you extend the shoulder blades off the back. One more. Inhale. Lats under ribs. Ribs pop up. Exhale. Feet into hands. Ribs in the body. Shoulder blades come off the back. Good. Let's release right leg, right arm. Stretch that right leg out in front of you on the mat. Try to line it up so your heel is in your midline. Heel, tailbone, pubic bone, belly button up through the nose. Drop the right arm back behind you, keeping that lat engaged. Outer spiral the right leg. Make a lot of length on the right side of the body. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, both lats wrapping around. Ribs back in, outer spiral the right leg. One more, inhale. Exhale, long and even. Should definitely be feeling some new abdominal muscles by now. Drag that right arm back up. And now counterbalance, right arm to the right, left leg to the left. Maybe you can straighten, maybe you keep it bent, maybe you keep forearm and knee in contact. Okay, but either way, the right arm, try not to hit the camera here, is going to hover above the ground. Ideally, you want it straight out from the shoulder, 180 degrees. I've got the camera in the way here a little bit. Let the right hip point come off the mat a little bit and really spiral outward, usually inward spiraling. So this outward spiral is going to make space in the front of the hip and reach through the index knuckle of the foot. Feel a lot of stretch all the way through that right side. At the same time, reach through the inner arch of the left foot here. Okay, and try to make length from the groin out through the foot. At the same time, pulling the outer arch of the foot back toward you with that left hand. Both lats can spread the shoulder blades off the back. Stay here for one more breath. You can let the ribs pop up on the inhale. And then exhale. Close them back in. Reach through the inner arch of that right foot. Bring it back up. Forearm and knee reconnecting on that left side. Right knee coming back up. Forearm and knee, or forearm and shin, I guess, reconnecting on that side. Turn the feet out a little bit, holding both outer arches, really restoring that outer arch in the foot. Inhale, shoulder blades under ribs, as has been the theme for this entire sequence. Exhale, lats wrapping around. Ribs dropping in, a lot of core muscles engaging. Inhale, shoulder blades under ribs, tailbone long. Exhale, lats wrapping. Second side. Left hand, left leg release. Put that heel right on your midline, line it up, heel, tailbone, pubic bone, belly button, sternum, nose. Left arm up, just above the joint, both shoulder blades anchoring shoulders away from the ears. Good, and then we're going to drop that left arm back behind you, keeping the left lat, serratus, all the muscles under the shoulder here engaged, instead of letting that shoulder come to the ear. And feel those muscles hopefully warming up. At the same time, outer spiral that left leg from the hip, from the leg up here. So inner spiral is what we usually do. You can feel the groin there as well, but if you really want to make a lot of space in the front of the hip and hip flexors, we're going to outer spiral for now. Okay, a concept used a lot in Pilates, and it's a good counter to the often inner spiral that you're doing in yoga. Okay, one more breath here. Exhale, lats wrap around. Ribs in the body. Reach through the inner arch of that left foot. And inhale. Exhale. Drag that left arm back up. Try to not shorten the left hip as you do that. No gym abs. Keep that left hip long. Use your lats and your serratus to drag the arm up. Low belly still spreading out. Now counterbalance, left arm to the left. Right leg. I'm just going to go around the camera here to the right. Okay, I'm a little crooked because the camera will actually move down. Okay. So see if you can make one straight line from arm to arm. Okay. Feel your lats reaching through the pinky side of both hands. Instead of shoulders shrinking to the ears, let the shoulder blades slide off the back. Let that left hip come off the mat if it's natural. Don't squish it down and have gym abs pop up here. Inhale, outer spiral both arms so the bicep, inner biceps face the ceiling. Exhale, long and even. Keep reaching through the inner arch of that left foot. It almost feels like the heel hooks into the floor, into your mat, and then lengthen the arch of the foot forward. One more inhale, ribs popping up. Feel a lot of length through the psoas, the groin, the hip flexors on the left side. Exhale. Ribs in the body. Good. Drag arm and leg back up. Forearm and shin reconnecting. Left side, same thing. Good. Regular happy baby here. Inhale. Exhale, ribs in the body. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Try to feel lats wrapping, giving the legs room. Let's take a full split if you can get there. If not, you can do one at a time. Take a couple breaths there. Reconnect. Do the other at a time. Or you can just reach as wide as you can. However you want to take it. Outer spiral the arm of the leg that's straight, if you're just doing the one. Okay. Biceps facing the ceiling, and then let the shoulder heads come away from the ears, chin down. Bring the crown of the head a little bit to the right, chin to the left. Drop that left shoulder well out of the ear. Try to feel a little stretch in the neck and possibly through the collarbone, bicep, all the way down to the hand. You can also use straps if it'll help you. Second side, bring the crown of the head to the left, chin to the right. Outer spiral that right arm. Keep that shoulder plate moving off the back. Try to make space between the shoulder and the ribs so they don't stay stuck. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, let the shoulder be stretched. And head back to the middle. Bend the knees in. Let's bring the feet all the way together. Interlace the hands. Open the knees. Try to keep toes aiming forward. Outer spiral the arms so the inner bicep faces up. Let's roll the chin to the chest. Keep tension from the feet into the hands. Open the knees. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the ribs into the body. Low belly and knees open. Feel a stretch through the arms. Keep them straight. Roll it all the way back. Good. Bring the knees in. Hug all the way into the chest and just rock side to side for a minute here. Good. Let's bring the feet flat. This time you're going to have knees tented but pretty wide on your mat, all the way to the outer edges of the mat or even off the mat. Arms up. You're going to drop, you're going to actually roll to the inner arch of the right foot. Drop the right knee in and down to your mat. The left knee, let me get the mic out of the way here, is going to drop open to the left. You want that right leg from the knee up through the center line of the body up to the nose to be one straight line, and a 90-degree angle from lower leg to upper leg. Really reach through the heel of that foot, index knuckle of the foot hooking into the ground, inner arch of the foot, the index knuckle side of the foot really flat on the ground, and then heel reaching back to the right. away from the hip. At the same time, feel that right knee reach down to the mat and forward, trying to create a stretch in the front of the right hip and the psoas. Right lat scoops the right arm up and around. Drop the arm back behind you. Let your ribs pop up for now. Inhale. Exhale, lats wrapping around, ribs in the body. Good. Notice the knee wants to shrink up. For right now, let's try to use the middle abs here between the rib cage and pelvis, right at the top of the pelvic bowl. Try to draw those back to the right. Okay, so you're going to inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, try to feel groin, low belly, draw the hip back to the right a little bit. Feel that lat connect. Inhale, let that right side lengthen. Reach the knee and lat a little bit away from each other. Let the ribs pop up. Exhale, try to feel groin, middle abs, lat. Shorten a little on that side. Left knee can stay open. Doesn't have to be totally open. Don't overstretch. But let it just kind of hang there, or you can support it with the bolster. 2 more. Inhale, knee long. Exhale. Draw it back. Try to feel the low belly. Some of the abdominal muscles through here. Inhale. Reach through the heel, past the toe. Lat wrapping around. And exhale. Draw it back in. Hip coming back to the right. Last one. Reach long on that side. Really air it out. And then exhale. Draw it back in. Good. Drag the right arm up. Drag the right knee back up. And let's go to the left side. Left knee. You're going to roll to the inner arch of that left foot. The left heel drags further to the left, possibly past the index knuckle of the foot. The left knee is right on line with the middle of the body. The right knee can drop open fully and rest on the mat. You can bring the foot in a little closer if you need to, or you can put a bolster or blocks or pillows under the leg to support it if it's too much of a stretch to let it fall wide. Okay, from here, let's bring shoulders away from ears. Left lat, serratus, all the muscles in the side engaged. Holding up the weight of the arm. Okay, inhale, let the ribs pop up. Lats come under ribs. Feel the length through the psoas, the hip flexors, the groin. Exhale, lats wrap around. Just dropping the ribs back in at first. Try to let the hip release. Try not to squeeze everything. Inhale, let the ribs pop up. Exhale, lats wrap around. Now let's do the same thing we did on the other side. Inhale, ribs pop up. Exhale, try to feel middle abs, the abs between the floating ribs and the pelvic bowl where you just have the spine. Feel those middle abs pull back to the left as the lat wraps around. So you're almost shortening that side, keeping it in line. Inhale, lengthen it out. Reach that left knee forward and down to the mat. Reach left heel to the left. Maybe have a little stretch in the knee here as well. Exhale. Bring it back in. 2 more. Inhale. You can open the right knee as well. It helps you make more space in the hips. Exhale. Drag it back in. Feel groin, low belly, lat. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Drag the arm up. Drag the knee up and bring it back to the middle. May have gotten a little bit of a knee stretch there. Let's bring feet flat, knees tented, hip width apart. Everything square and lined up here. Keep lats wrapping around. Okay, so sorry about that. Just ran out of battery for a minute there. So let's come back to feet hip width apart, hips square, shoulders square, arms straight above the shoulder joint. Let's try to go back to feeling that right groin, low belly, and lat on that side that's on the floor, and feel the left hip hug a little long as the right hip hugs wide. Then switch. Left groin, low belly, lat. Maybe you can connect through obliques and serratus in between after this much time. And switch, just feel hips hugging back and forth. Heels hug softly in on the mat, quads staying released. And switch, and bring it back to the middle. Keep both heels hugging in, low belly and soft pressure forward away from the tailbone with the feet to roll tailbone long. Low back, the soft curve in the low back is now released and your back is flush, glutes are soft. Let's bring the hips all the way up. Feel that upper back bend, lats coming under the rib cage to lift it up again. At the same time, heels hug in, but let the hips drop about 2 inches and release the glutes. So you've got that upper back bend with the low belly hollowing out and releasing the low back. Inhale, keep the ribs popped up. Exhale, keep the ribs popped up, lats coming under the ribs, sternum to the chin, chin down, neck long, and feel right groin drawn to low belly, and feel that lat trying to come under the ribs. Then switch. Left lat, groin, low belly. You can even twist the hips so that the hips start to face left a little. Then switch. Right groin, lat, low belly. And switch. Left groin, lat, low belly. Bring it back to the middle. Inhale. Ribs up. Exhale, ribs back into the body. Lats wrapping. Start articulating down. When the low back touches the mat, hold. Release your glutes. Heels hug in. Feel feet drag back to you softly to drag pubic bone forward, low belly spreading across. All right, from here, let's bend right knee in, left leg out in front, and let's just play with this shape again. Feel that left groin, low belly, and lat draw in, this time without your bolster. Notice when that side shortens, it almost feels like the leg is pulling up into the hip, the right hip can hug longer. Play with that concept, keeping that feeling. Chin to the chest, roll it up. Lift the left leg, but try to feel the groin muscle, the inner thigh. Keep the quad and the hip flexors rolled out of the way so they get a stretch. Elbows wide, try to feel lat through the bottom side of the elbows spreading. Inhale here. Exhale for as long as you can until you start to feel the ribs draw together, middle abs draw in, outer spiral, and reach through that left groin muscle. Then feel the left groin muscle draw in so the right hip can hug a little long. Then switch. Roll the head back down. Second side. Bend the left leg in, right leg out in front. Elbows open wide. Play with the relationship between the hips. As that right groin muscle shortens into the low belly and the lat, the left hip can hug long. When you reach through that right side, right inner arch of the foot, low belly, groin, you feel the left side creep up. If you feel both, a little bit of both, right groin drawing in just enough for you to start hugging the left hip long, it almost feels as though both are outer spiraling coming back into the center to pull the pelvic bowl away from the rib cage. Okay, so let's play with that. Right groin, low belly, and lat, elbows wide, helps hug left hip long. Then bring chin to the chest, use core muscles, roll it up. Lift the right leg off the floor using the groin. Feel right groin drawing into low belly. Feel you can hug the hip long, then reverse it. Right groin long out of the low belly, left hip gets a little shorter. Right groin shortens into low belly and lat, and then lengthen it back out. One breath, keep a happy medium. A little bit of right groin helping hug the left hip long. Feel how that generally helps the hips draw you up, and you can drop the ribs into the mat and away from the hips, creating length and opposition through the core. Inhale, really holding onto the knee. Exhale, feel length through that right groin, and lower the head all the way to the mat. Good. Let's come back for the last time to the wide diamond with the legs and the feet. Inhale, shoulders down, ribs up. Exhale for the last time, side out. Dropping the ribs in. And let's drop the arms back, keep the ribs in. Reach a little longer through that right arm, right side. Bring it back. Reach a little longer through that left arm, left side. Feel the left heel push softly into the right. Right knee opening a little further away. Back to the center. Try to feel floating ribs slide to the right as you reach that right lat up a little. Left knee open, groin muscle, low belly drawing out of the front of that left hip into the right floating ribs to help scoop the ribs further away. And then switch. Just a little back and forth, and then switch. A lot of length, back to the middle. Inhale, ribs up. And exhale. Lats wrapping to bring ribs in, arms rolling up. Open the toes, tuck the pinkies, come to that footwork, feet. Soft pressure in the feet forward on your mat. We'll roll your tailbone long, bringing your low back a little into the mat. Try to tilt the ribs a little into your mat now, keeping lats wrapping as you inhale. Don't let the ribs pop up. The opposite of what we've done for the rest of class. Inhale. And then exhale, lats wrapping, close your ribs. Let knees relax open, heels reach forward. Feel like your tailbone and heels are reaching for each other. Low belly spreading. One more like that. Inhale, soft pressure in the feet. Tailbone gets rolled a little under. Low back long. Ribs in the mat as you inhale into the back. Back breathing. Exhale. Ribs in, lats wrapping. Roll the heels down. Notice how pubic bone rolls forward. Shin down, neck gets pulled long. Bring the feet together. And one more breath. Just soft, long, fill the sides of the ribs all the way down to the hips. As you exhale, just feel the natural draw in the diaphragm, making space in the back of the shoulders. Feel a line from the pecs through the bicep, all the way up through the thumb side of the hand, lengthening you out of the shoulder girdle. Try to feel lats through the underside of the arm, through the pinky side of the hand, so you're evenly lengthening out of the shoulder girdle. Let your shoulders just relax down to the mat. Bring the shoulders up to the ears, down the body, and back up to the ceiling. Good. Open the toes, lift the heels just to transition through to tented knees. Let's stretch out one leg, then the other. Bring the arms out to the sides. Roll the shoulders under a little bit. Chin down. Inhale long and even. Exhale, let it go. Start to feel a little bit of your low belly hollowing into the mat. And then just release everything. Let your eyes roll back into the back of the skull and toward the third eye in the middle of the forehead. Try to feel the muscles in the face soften and release, jaw releasing, little spreading across the bridge of the nose and across the base of the skull between the ears. And just let go. Try to let any thoughts that pass through the mind just move through. Let go of any breathing technique and just feel the core muscles, feel the back soften. Notice any gripping or tension in the body, let it go, and enjoy your final resting pose. If you're at home, continue for as long as you like. I will leave you here. Thank you, and namaste.